Morning. You got a minute?
I don't.
Okay. Have a good day. The student union is all indoors here. You know, oftentimes that's an area where kids will just go and hang out, but it's all indoors. So, morning.
You guys Catholics?
No, are you?
Oh no. There's just some Catholics outside Emma Goldman, and if you guys want to like team up, that'd be really cool. I think.
I'm not sure we have the same objective.
Yeah. What's your name?
I'm Andrew.
Andrew. I'm Tony. This is Jason.
Nice to meet you.
So
yes. What do you think? What do you think about this?
What about it?
What are your thoughts on it? Do you have an opinion on the subject of the unborn?
What about them?
Do you believe in equal rights for all humans?
Yeah, I'm with that.
Okay. What makes you bring up the Emma Goldman?
Oh, because they're out there right now.
Yeah.
So I thought if y'all wanted to like collaborate, you know, that'd be a cool thing.
yeah. Well,
It's like getting Drake and J. Cole in a song. You know what I'm saying? You get it. Yeah. What are you gonna say?
no, I didn't want to interrupt.
No. What were you gonna say, Tony?
Why do you think it would be cool for us to team up with them?
Are you guys? Wait, I'm confused. Are you guys for abortion or against?
Here, maybe this will help.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so you guys are on the same side. Is what I'm saying. So that'd be a safe collaboration.
In a way, I guess. Yeah, kinda. I mean, they're out there because they're out there praying and hoping that young ladies will stop killing their children. And I guess what we're trying to discern from you, Andrew, right? I'm old and cold, so it might take me a couple of times to get
That's
that.
okay. You don't have to know my name. It's not important.
No, well, it is to me because we're having a conversation. It's just part of civility, you know.
I don't find
It's better than hey you.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of abortion, Andrew? What
That doesn't matter.
Huh?
That doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
My thoughts on abortion.
Sure, it does. Well, it does to us. That's why we're out here talking, exchanging ideas, and having conversations. Yeah, we're curious. We'd like to know what you think. What do you think?
Why does that matter? I'm very confused.
I don't know what's confusing about that.
What's confusing to me is why it matters.
Okay,
what
well,
my
this
opinions are.
it matters to us because your soul matters to us. Because abortion is murder. God sees abortion as murder. And those who either engage in that or support it are doing so contrary to God's will and God's law. And that has eternal repercussions when you one day die and stand before Him. So out of concern for you as a fellow image bearer, you were created in the image of God, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not capable of having an abortion. So I'm sorry to tell you.
But you are capable of sinning against God.
Yeah. And you are capable of participating in abortion. You're capable of condoning it, agreeing with it. In fact, there's a verse in the Bible that says that those who give approval to that which God hates is as guilty as the person who has done it.
That's not verbatim, right?
No, it's not verbatim.
Okay.
Yeah, Romans 1:32. Are you familiar with the verse?
I heard that verse last night. There's this guy named Vijay Pasini who stands out here with the sign that says all the people who are going to hell. Do you guys know the guy?
No.
He's a street preacher. Very, very famous.
Yeah,
for his parts.
Or infamous, maybe.
No, famous.
Oh, famous. Yeah, yeah. So,
I guess both.
Andrew, what do you think is going to happen to you when you die?
We'll see.
But what do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay. Does that matter to you at all?
It'd be nice to know.
Yeah. Do you think you can know?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, we believe you can know.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we believe a person can know where they're going to spend eternity.
Well, regardless, I think you guys should collaborate with them.
Well, but if we were collaborating with them today, we wouldn't be standing here talking to you.
Yes, you would be. I was over there.
Oh, and what were you doing over there?
Well, there's this
Having
one
the same
guy-
kind of conversation, or?
I wasn't. No, I
Oh.
don't usually talk to them. So there's this one guy who really hates being recorded there. He has like a mask, sunglasses,
Oliver.
a hood on. What's that?
Oliver lives across the street.
Oh, I didn't. You go over there often?
Yeah, I've been there many times, and there's a
Oh.
young man named Oliver who's who lives across the street who really does not like people standing outside of Emma Goldman.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and he once, if it's the same person, he once said he was part of Antifa, but I don't think that was necessarily true.
Interesting. Yeah, I was talking about a guy there protesting.
One of the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
Apparently he's like the president of, I think it's Right to Life or something.
Oh, I don't know. And he covers his face.
Yeah, he's not proud of it.
That's unusual.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah.
At one
I don't
point,
think you ought to be
a couple
covered.
weeks ago,
Yeah.
what I did was I recorded him, and he walked across the street, and so I followed him. And you know, you gotta know the law. So as long as you're not impeding traffic, you can jaywalk naturally. So just kept following him. Always kept distance naturally. And so I kept doing this about 30 times. And man, he was pooped at the end. But I gave him a good workout. So at the end of the day, I think I was doing him good. You know what I'm saying? But this time, I guess he was told off or something. So now he doesn't like cross the street. He just kind of stands there and uses a sign to cover his face, and he really doesn't like it. But it's very interesting. Very interesting. And I have the time of my life out there. Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
Why? Doing what? What do you do out there?
I record them and I don't say anything.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's
you just go out there
literally
for the fun of it.
Yeah. I just practice the First Amendment. It's like an audit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, familiar with that. Yeah. Well, that's what all this is. It's.
Yeah, it's very
I
similar.
mean, it's more than First Amendment, but yeah. So you really don't have an opinion about abortion? You really don't?
Not really.
Or are you just playing with us a little bit?
Well,
Come on now. Honesty time, Andrew. Come on now. You just playing with us a little?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, okay. How come?
I mean, because it's fun.
What's fun about it? Look, it doesn't bother us. We're not angry with you or anything like that
No,
at all. Yeah. We're not. But I mean,
Because I love talking to individuals like you. Like VJ Bassini was out here last night preaching about how, sports gamblers are going to hell. What else? It was mere good people are going to hell. And his point there was like people who aren't forgiven by God are going to hell. So yeah, that makes sense.
did he have anything positive to say?
I mean, no.
No?
No, but I mean that's his goal. His goal is to drum up drama.
Yeah. So, what's your belief about God? You believe in God?
Oh, that also doesn't matter for this conversation.
Sure, it does. So you actually, so Andrew, you actually don't want to have a conversation. You just want to talk to us because it's
Isn't
fun.
that the same thing?
No, because a conversation is actually an exchange of ideas, and you're not interested in that.
We are exchanging ideas.
No, we're sharing ideas, but no, you're not.
What's the difference between sharing and
Well, you're not
exchanging?
saying anything, Andrew. You're not.
I did share with you a few things.
So you seem to be committed to the idea that it doesn't matter what you
Indeed.
Right. Yeah. So if it were true that there weren't a God, and we really are just a bunch of chemistry kind of popping around the earth until we die, then I would agree with you. But if it's true that there's a God, and if that God has revealed himself in his word and by the person of Jesus Christ to tell us, to manifest himself to us so that we do know who he is and what he requires of us, well, then we do know what he wants, if that were true. And we certainly believe it is. We believe that God has revealed himself in the person of Jesus Christ, that from before time began, that God had purposed that he was going to send his son into the world to die for sinners, and that all who believe in him may be forgiven and that we may have eternal life. If God had hidden himself from us, then I'm completely with you, nothing matters. Nothing matters at all. Conversation doesn't matter. What we think about anything doesn't matter. All it is just, our brains are just chemistry. Thoughts are just chemistry. Just a couple of neurons popping around in there. And no thought, nothing. The concept of truth, the concept of justice, none of it means anything. But it does. Because God is real.
So you mean
will
he's
stand there.
subjective?
Well, is the sun shining today? Is the sun shining today?
Yes.
Now, is that subjective, or is that, like, whether you believe that or not, it's true, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if God exists, if he exists, so I gather that you're not convinced of that, but if he does, it would be true whether you believe it or not. Right?
Well, science is also subjective.
But back to my question, if God did exist, that would be true whether you acknowledge it.
You're still angry. Why are you so angry? She's angry.
What's that?
We've seen her 2 or 3 times, so we know.
I
yeah.
figured.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, if God did exist, it would be true whether you believed it or not. It's not. It wouldn't be be subjective, it would be true.
Yeah, I guess that's the definition of objectivity.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So, I mean, do you believe that there is such a thing as truth? Like, there are things that are just true, like the sun is shining right now.
This is deeply philosophical. I don't know if I'm qualified to.
Well, of course you are, right? Oh, hey, the moment
Man,
that
I'm an
the
econ
moment,
major. I do coloring books for class. Come on now. Come on now.
the moment that you said that your thoughts didn't matter, then I knew immediately you're a philosophical guy, right? You think about these things. You think you're the kind of guy that thinks about whether thought even matters, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it does.
But you think that for some reason, right? There's some kind of truth commitment in your worldview that makes you think that. Is that fair?
So you're saying I think it's true that thought doesn't matter.
That's what I'm picking up. Is that what you're picking up?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So here's what I believe. I believe that truth does matter. I think that's self-evident, right? Like the concept of justice. Like if I were to just walk out right now and kneecap that guy, you would probably think that's not a right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty gangster. What does kneecap mean? Is it like doing like?
That's what
like
I think it's more from the front. Yeah, I gotta break this.
Oh, okay.
Actually, back in the day, it was to shoot someone in the knee to make a point, so as to not kill them, so they'll pay you the money they owe.
So we agree that would be immoral. That would be wrong. Right?
Yeah, I think it depends on who you ask. But yeah.
Well, I'm asking you, right?
Personally, yeah. I don't.
Do you think if we could interview everyone on campus and just kind of get a consensus, do you think most people would say that was wrong?
I think if you're doing it to Henry Kissinger, yeah.
Okay, so it's going to depend who we're doing it to.
Yeah.
All right, you get my point, though. My point is, there's things that we understand instinctively. It's like we just look at it, we say it's wrong. Like instinctively, we have a sense of good and evil built into us. Now, I'm not saying we agree on every point, right?
Definitely,
all the time.
yeah.
Definitely not. But the mere presence of morality, like our very hearts understand the objective nature of right and wrong. Again, I grant that we argue over the minutiae at times. Well, here's my point. Okay, I think you instinctively understand it. I instinctively understand that. I think everybody instinctively understands that. And what I would say then, and what the Bible would affirm, is that shows that God has written, right? I believe that God has written His law on our hearts. Part of being human is having an innate sense of morality, right and wrong, which has its reference to an objective point of truth. Because if there is no objective point of truth, then it really is just ideas. And I would have no business whatsoever to hold a sign that would even merely suggest that abortion is wrong, if there weren't some, anchoring point of objective truth. So if there is no God, then I'm with you. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. But I'm here to tell you there is a God, and He's revealed Himself in His Word. He's revealed Himself in the person of Jesus Christ, and He calls all men everywhere to repent, put their faith in Him, turn from sin, including the sin of murder and kneecapping random guys on the street, and believe it. And your thoughts do matter. They do matter.
Do you think you'd be standing here if you were Muslim and believed in the Quran?
I would not be. I would be.
And do you think if you were raised in that environment without any exposure to Christianity at all, would you be Muslim still?
In that context, I probably would be Muslim. There's many around the world who are for that reason, that the gospel has not reached them or things like that.
And do you think they're going to hell for that?
Go ahead, Tony. No, you're going to say something. What do you have to say?
So, nobody goes to hell because they have not heard of Jesus.
Okay, so all those people are going to heaven, including babies, which is one.
So let me finish my thought. I'm sorry. Let me finish my thought. No one goes to hell because they haven't heard of Jesus. Okay, if that were the case, in all the places that you might think of that Jason referenced, of people who were raised in an environment where they would only hear that Jesus was a prophet, but He wasn't God in the flesh, and He didn't come to save sinners from the wrath of God. If that's all they knew, and they never heard of Jesus, then yeah, He did. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. Actually, yeah. So Jesus did reference abortion, because abortion is murder. Turn to Christ and live, ma'am.
We'd love to talk more.
So if it were the case that a person would be sent to hell because they never heard of Jesus, then it would actually be cruel to send missionaries out to tell people of Jesus so that they could reject Him. That would
Well,
be
that's a Southern
that would be
Baptist,
cruel.
man.
No. Hear me out. It would be cruel if not hearing of Jesus was the reason people went to hell. It would be cruel to send people to tell people about Jesus so that they could reject him. Nobody goes to hell because they've never heard of Jesus. People go to hell because they've broken God's law, whether or not they've heard of Jesus.
And they know it.
And they know it.
Knowingly. Okay.
Yeah, and you know it. Every time you've told a lie, you know that it's wrong, not because of how you were raised or where or by whom, but because the God who created you isn't a liar, and he's written that law in your heart.
What about premarital sex?
Yeah, you know that's wrong, because the God who created you is not unfaithful. He's not immoral.
Well, if someone...
You know it's
different
wrong.
Culture.
It doesn't matter. Culture doesn't matter. Here, consider this, Andrew. If it's do you think it's up to the individual to determine right and wrong for themselves, morality for
That's
themselves?
the definition of subjectivity, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Back to
Sure.
like
Sure.
The kneecapping thing.
Right. Okay.
If I wanted, that would just be. If I thought that was okay, then that would be okay. That would be,
Yes.
You think so?
It would be okay for you, yes. And
be
others
okay
may
for you.
disagree, but for
Okay,
yourself,
well-
subjectively, yeah.
Okay.
But Andrew, that's not actually not the case.
Yeah, I may disagree with it, you may disagree with it.
All right.
That person may not, and that's their
So-
own meaning.
But if
No, I was just saying. So if I believe it was okay to murder someone, if I believe it, like sincerely, I'm really convinced that that's okay, right? I mean, we're talking about Muslims, right? There are Muslims who do believe that it is not only okay, but is actually right and commanded that they would kill certain people. You know? But because they genuinely believe that, do you think that's because they believe that? You think that's okay? That gives them the moral license to do it
I'm saying it's morally okay for them.
for them. Okay.
Like they believe it's morally okay.
So would you stop them? If
Yes,
it was in your power?
it's not morally okay for
No.
them.
Why would you stop them? if it
Because
was
we have
okay?
different ideas of morality.
Okay, so when those ideas of morality are at odds with one another, then what is the arbiter to determine in the end who's right, or is it just
Power?
Power. Okay, very good. I appreciate that admission. So it's power. Might makes right. Might makes right.
Unfortunately, yes.
Gotcha. So is that where it ends for you? That whoever has the power is right? You believe Adolf Hitler in the Holocaust? You believe that was
Yeah,
right?
obviously not.
I mean, but he had power, so who really is there to challenge him? What does it matter? But instead, there was many people died to end Adolf Hitler.
Well, I'm saying that doesn't make it right. That makes it right for himself because he believes that what he's doing is right.
So it's
and he has power to carry that out. So the arbiter is the power.
so you say it's not right, but it was right for him.
In his own mind, it was right.
But you said it's not right, but it was right to him in his own mind.
To him, yes.
Okay, so how can you have it's not right, which is an objective statement, coincide with it was right to him as a subjective
It's
statement?
not right in my opinion. It's not right in many people's opinions.
So
but
it's really just a battle of opinions. And power.
That's
really
correct.
it. Got it. And you actually believe that?
Yes.
Okay. So whoever has the power to impose their will, it's really just as simple as that.
Look at the military-industrial complex.
Sure. Okay. So there is no basis, you believe, for objective morality. It really is all subjective.
Yes.
What do you think of that, Tony?
yeah,
Morality has changed over time. So we still think that women didn't deserve rights at all, and now we think they do. And that's changed.
yeah, but it's actually not subjective, and you actually don't live that way. You don't.
You're just saying like, no, that's my point. Man.
No. I'm saying you don't live by the worldview that you profess.
How so?
You don't live by the worldview you profess, because if someone did something you thought was wrong to you, you would try to stop them. It's not okay. It's not actually okay in your mind for someone to just have whatever morality they want. See, your worldview.
Because I subjectively have my own morality, and that conflicts with others' morality and ideas of morality, and that's why I don't think it's okay.
Yeah, but in the end, but without, as Jason's been trying to explain to you, without any objective standard for morality, it doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Mm-hmm.
None of it matters. But you don't live that way. You don't live like someone to whom it just doesn't matter. You
I
don't.
like to have fun. I like to enjoy my life.
I don't think that coincides with what we're talking about. That you just like to have fun. So if someone, if someone said, well, it would be fun to murder Andrew, so then it's okay. It's okay so long as it's okay to them. It's okay.
I did not say that.
Oh, okay.
As long as it's okay to them, it's okay to them. But it may not be okay to me. It may not be okay.
But what difference does it make though? If it's just up to the individual to determine morality for themselves, so what?
Well,
Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. I mean, so what? So what if I kill you? So what if you kill me? So what?
It's against the opposing individual's morality.
So what? So what? Why would that even matter? If subjectivity is the law of the day, who cares if someone doesn't like what you do? Who cares if someone likes what you do?
The individual with a conflicting opinion.
Who cares? So what? See the point in this part of it, Andrew, is that your worldview not only is inconsistent, but it's absurd. And I don't mean that to be offensive. I'm not trying to up an argument here or something like that. But it's just inconsistent. It's just meaningless. So that you like to have fun is meaningless. It's vanity, because you are the God of your own universe.
You guys don't even know if I believe in God. You don't know if I
No. We do know that you believe in God. Appealing to an objective moral standard, universal moral standard, under which all of us are subservient, including you. We absolutely know that you believe in God. We know that for certain. And we also know that you simply suppress that truth by your unrighteousness. And professing to be wise in your own eyes, you've rendered yourself a fool. Now, I'm not...
How are you not doing that?
Hang on. I'm not calling you names. Okay, and this is not about intellectualism at all. This is about morality. You've taken what you know about God and you've suppressed that by your unrighteousness. That's not my opinion. That's what God's word says about Andrew and every other human being who would either question or deny the existence of the God that they actually know. You know there's a creator. You know that, just as you know that someone built this building. You know that you're not stardust. You know that morality is not subjective. But you've imposed all of these really delusional beliefs on yourself to guard your own heart and mind from what you actually know. That God exists and you will stand before him.
What if I said the exact same thing to you, but in opposite terms?
Well, I have an objective standard. I have an objective standard of morality, an objective standard of truth to which I can appeal to say, no, Andrew, you're actually wrong. But you don't. All you have is your own subjectivity. You don't have a moral standard. You don't have a moral footing to be able to. No, you don't have a moral footing.
Creates objectivity and subjectivity.
Your subjectivity doesn't create anything but delusion.
And that's your own opinion. That's
No, it's
subjective.
actually it's not. No, it's an objective reality based on the God you know, who has revealed himself in creation and who's revealed himself in his word.
Not a plastic bag.
No, thanks. I don't need the plastic bag.
You want?
When you mentioned that morality has changed over time, I mean, there's certain, you can look at the ethos of a civilization. You can see, go from being patriarchal to egalitarian and things like that. But sure, people's evaluation of morality, as it would be reflected in things like that, can change over time. But what always drives a moral conversation is an appeal to what's objectively true. If people's ideas have changed, it's because their ideas of what is objectively true have changed. Nobody, you can't have.
Yeah, and they're sorry.
Well, yeah. What is the basis for law, if not people trying to come to consensus on what is true, what is right and good? It's not just let's sit around and talk.
Trying to make a consensus. Why isn't there a complete consensus in that case?
In fact, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't.
Why isn't there a complete consensus if there's moral objectivity?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying people arrive at that perfect consensus, but that's what they're appealing to when they try to create one.
So you're saying most people's combined subjective morality creates subjective morality?
No. I'm saying that as they would try to work that out as individuals, which flawed,
Is that not
finite, everything.
subjective?
What's that?
As individuals.
Well, but they're not just appealing to their subjective feeling of what they're thinking. They're trying to appeal to what is objectively true. I'm not saying they're succeeding at it, but I'm saying the target is always what is objectively true, and based on what's objectively true, that's how we want to live. That's how we want to live. I guess I'm just saying the world runs on the appeal to the objective, even if it's a flawed appeal. You mentioned buildings being built. I mean, you can't build buildings without appealing to the objective nature of physics. You can't just if it's just everybody. If it were just everybody, I guess just back to their subjective thoughts, then law or anything coherent, order is not even possible.
I disagree. As I was saying, I think it's the collective's idea of what's subjectively right and wrong based upon the sharing of ideas and beliefs. And it may be based upon these subjective building blocks, but that doesn't make it non-subjective.
Sure, I follow that. Did you follow that?
No. You're trying to apply subjectivity as if it's an objective moral standard. You've said morality has changed over time. Actually, it hasn't. Man's following or not following of an objective moral standard has changed over time. Yes, it's never chattel slavery, for example. What was practiced, in Europe and, well, actually it began in Africa with Africans subjecting other Africans to chattel slavery, kidnapping and stealing and selling them to the West. That's how it started. That was never morally good, even though society said, yeah, it's fine. We could say that they're not human, and that'll cover that, and we could sell them and buy them and abuse them because we see them as less than human. That was never morally good, ever, no matter what society determined. I mean, Jason referenced Nazi, Germany some time ago. What happened in Nazi Germany was legal. It was legal, but it was never morally good. So trying to frame some kind of objective moral standard around subjectivity really, again, it's just absurdity. Morality has never changed, just like the world has never been flat. No matter how many people for hundreds of years, and how many people even today would actually,
You're not one of those, right? Flat earther?
yeah, would actually say the Earth is flat. Yeah, it's never been flat. In the end, Andrew, it doesn't matter what any of us believe. What matters, comma.
We know you do.
Comma, yeah, comma or semicolon. It doesn't matter what any of us believe. What matters is whether or not what we believe is true. When you walked up to us and you introduced yourself and we introduced ourselves, and I said, hi, I'm Tony, and this is Janet, a good friend of mine. She's a 6'5" African female WNBA player. This 40-year-old weight losing man is never, no matter what I believe about him, he's never going to be a 6'5" African American female WNBA player. Ever, because he has a lot less melanin in his skin. He's a 40-year-old bearded man. It doesn't matter what I believe about Jason. What matters is what's true about him. If after we're done here, I go to the bank and I give the teller a withdrawal slip, and she's seen me before. Davenport's not a big town. And say, hey, hi, Mr. Miata, how are you? Hey, hi, how are you? And she takes a withdrawal slip and she starts to punch in numbers, and she looks at it, and she kind of stops for a second, but she does her due diligence. She runs the numbers. See, I gave her a withdrawal slip for $1 million. Right? So she punches in the numbers. She's looking a little squeamish, and she says, well, Mr. Miano, I can't honor this. What do you mean you can't honor that? Well, Mr. Miano, you have $38.50 in your account. Yeah, no, I believe with all my heart that I have $1 million in my account, and I'd like $1 million right now. And if I argue with her long enough, she's going to push a little red button under the counter and the police are going to come and take me away. Doesn't matter what I believe about my bank account. What matters is what's true about my bank account. Andrew, it doesn't matter what you believe about anything. What matters is whether or not what you believe is true. And in a worldview that denies the authority, the existence, the authority of God, is a worldview of absurdity.
And that's your belief?
No, it's not my belief. It's what's true.
Well,
it doesn't
said
matter what I
matters.
believe. What matters is whether or not what I believe is true.
Yes.
Right.
So it is your belief.
Right. Based on truth. Not subjectivity, but based on an objective standard. One that you're going to submit to whether you like it or not. Now, we're not at our hand, obviously, but one day, Andrew, you're going to die and you're going to stand before God, and He's going to judge you according to that perfect moral standard that, like the rest of us, you fail to live up to. He's going to find you guilty, and He's going to punish that sin, that law breaking, and the sentence is hell. Now, unlike whoever it is you were speaking about, that's not where the story ends. Or it doesn't have to, anyways. We're not out here to tell Andrew or anyone else, guess what, you're going to hell. One, we don't know if that's what's going to happen to you in the end. Our hope is that it wouldn't. And we know how that can be avoided. Objectively, truthfully, honestly, because of what God has revealed in His Word. God the
I know you've been driving me, you've been begging me to get to this point.
No, I'm not driving or begging, but I mean, well, you know what? I take that back. No, what I want more than anything else, Andrew.
Say, yeah.
No, what I want,
Exactly.
no, you're right. I may not use the words you use, but you're right, Andrew. What's more important to me than any of these philosophical discussions is your soul, you, my neighbor. What's going to happen to Andrew when he dies? That's more important to me than anything else.
I'm not here to win arguments.
Right.
I hope that's evident. Right?
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I think you are. Well, okay.
Okay.
Actually,
Well,
no, I don't disagree with that. I don't think you're even here to argue. I think you're very set in your beliefs, and you will not accept any other beliefs other than your beliefs that you claim to be objective, and that's okay. That's my idea of subjectivity. I'm okay with that.
Okay. I mean, at the end of that, look, I think I get your worldview. I think I've thought it through enough. I mean, it's basically, in the end, you boil it down. Nothing matters.
Yeah, it's slightly absurdist.
And, yeah, I mean, there is no difference between you and me, these bodies, these minds, these brains, chemicals popping around, neurons firing. There's nothing fundamentally different about us than a bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's just matter with some chemical reactions going on.
Brain fizz.
It's just brain fizz. In which case, nothing we're doing matters at all. Nothing we're doing matters. We are just little dust mites here on this terrestrial ball, and that's really it. And yet, something compelled you to stop and talk because
This is fun.
because it's fun. That's just part of your neurons popping around.
Yeah.
It's just
Exactly.
Yeah,
Part of my worldview.
Yeah, and I think I understand that. Like I understand your view, and I would just tell you, like,
You're going to
that's
have
not true. I'm not here to tell you.
We're telling you don't have to.
Right.
We're telling you we don't want you to. But look,
but you're
look,
telling me that
and-
that with my current beliefs, I am willing to.
But Andrew, you need to understand, in making the assertion that nothing matters, you're making a truth claim which by definition negates your idea that nothing matters. That's the absurdity of your worldview. You're making a truth claim. You're saying nothing matters. That is a truth claim which negates your truth claim.
How does that negate it?
Because what matters is that, to you, what matters is that nothing matters.
To say
Which is-
everything is subjective is to make it objective.
Right.
It's a self-refuting philosophy. That's what I'm trying to say.
And your worldview can't sustain that. You actually have to come into our worldview that has an objective standard for truth to make a truth claim while asserting that nothing matters. It's similar to saying there is no such thing as absolute truth. Well, is that true? Yes. Well, okay, now there's absolute truth.
Yeah.
See, that's the absurdity of your worldview. And you may not care.
Doesn't that apply to yours as well?
No, not at all. No.
Well, we do believe. The difference is we fully embrace there is such a thing as objective truth, and we believe that it's self-evident that there is a God who's created us. Every building has a creator. Every painting has a painter. Fully convinced that yes, there's a God. He created us, and as our creator, what he says, what he requires of us, the law that he's created in us, that we can't not interact with that. We're not these absolutely free beings that exist outside of the limitations of what our creator has given us. That's self-evident. And like I said earlier, if it were true that God did not reveal himself to us, if he didn't reveal himself to us, then we might as well. It goes back to what matters, what really matters. But we fully believe God has revealed himself in the person of Jesus Christ. We believe that he, fully God, fully man, truly God, truly man, that he came and God showed us the Father in the person of the Son. And boy, you can however other many reasons for that faith we go into. I believe the Bible is absolutely coherent. I believe the Bible is coherent, having been written by many men across different periods of time, all forming one coherent narrative, despite even the ebbs and flows of culture in their respective days. Man, it all just clicks with me. And the testimony of my own conscience, bearing witness to good and evil, bearing witness to the fact that I've done evil, and that needs to be rectified somehow. Man, I find in Christ Jesus, I find a God who is both perfectly just and perfectly merciful. He doesn't just sweep sin under the rug, which is effectively what all the other religions of the world would see. If you be good enough, it can kind of more or less offset what you've done wrong. No, if God is God, he's holy and just. He can't sweep sin under the rug.
Right now I'm going to my painting class.
Where's that at?
It's in the art store.
We don't want to see
Down there?
we don't want to see people perish.
How you doing? I'm Tony.
Krish, nice to meet you.
I'm sorry?
I'm Krish, nice to meet you.
Krish?
Yes, sir.
Krish. Like Krish? Krish? Yeah, good to meet you.